Welcome to another episode on our channel. As promised, I want to do a custom for you guys after going through all the body parts, the bodies, the heads, and so forth. I thought I would make the Punisher. I was going to get a third-party brand, unbranded head, but after seeing the photographs, the real photographs of the heads, not the Photoshop ones, I decided, no, I'm not going to take a chance. And he looks great. So now the question is, what body do I put him with? With all the bodies I have that I showed you the other day, this is close in color. It's not a perfect match, but it's close. The head's a little darker, but it's closer without the lights. So that's a contender. This would have been a contender, and these are the only two contenders that I see right now, because this shade is definitely better, but he is more muscular. And I'm going to be covering the elbows and the knees. So from my perspective, there's no use using a more expensive Bison TB League body on this figure, since I'm covering up things that would normally show with a jointed figure. So I'm going to go with this one. Now, the thing I notice is that we have the joint piece here, the peg in the neck, but the Hot Toys head came with the peg as well. So you could do it one of two ways. You can take this piece out and put this head on there. Hopefully it all works out fine. Or you take this one out and put this one in here and hope it works out fine. I think I'm going to go with the first choice and see if it works. Take this piece out and see if this one fits in, and it looks great. Hoping it will, but if not, we'll just go to plan B, switch, direction, see if that works. And if that doesn't work, we might have to go to this body. We'll just play it as it normally plays itself out. There's experimentation when you're doing custom jobs. So we will be right back because I'm going to need some hot water. All right, so we'll be right back. We are back and I have very hot water. If this comes out and this goes in nicely, we'll still take the head off when we put the shirt on, because it's easier to get a shirt on without a head attached. But I'm hoping that when we take this out, that will go in nicely. We will see, but let's soak the head for a second or two. So, yeah. So that fit in nicely, and I can either try to pull it out, which it worked. And now the question is, does that go in nicely? It looks like it does. It looks great. So the pants are a no-brainer. That's going to go on easy, especially with no feet on. If there were feet attached and you had boots to put over the feet, you just want to point the toes straight out so the pants goes on nicely. In this case, we don't have to worry about that. All right. So we just put the shirt on this way. Move the open hand through the sleeves, each one, then pull this back part over the neck part. I kind of keep my finger there to kind of hopefully help with that process so nothing rips. And it looks like it's going to go on just fine. All right. Just kind of have to feel around, make sure you have the elbow where it's supposed to be. It doesn't feel like it fits in on one side, turn it around. Part of the decal is coming off. Now, and the sleeves were actually cut. And so some of the threading is coming out. So I'm going to have to sew that back in. But with the decal, what I'm tempted to do, I'll be back in a second, is just to get a pin, put a little super glue on the edge of the pin, put a little dab on the part of the decal that's kind of fraying away from the shirt, and then just press it into place. That should do the trick. The thing you don't want to do is try to put the glue in with this thing. You're going to get a gob of glue out, and it's going to ruin the shirt. So this will be a better way to do it. Just put it on the pin. I think what I want to do is, actually there's 3 of these that are kind of coming apart. Let's see if I can get them all at the same time. Let's see how that does. Ah, that came off nicely. Let's get this on. Again, we don't want to put the head on yet. We want to get the shirt on first before we put on the head. I think we're good here. All right. All right, good. Now I've gone to my stash of weapons and I found this. So it's a double rigged holster set with guns in it. I think I will put that on him. If it looks fine, I'll leave it on him. We are back, and all the last second modifications worked out well. I got his feet on. You know, I know his pants are tucked in. I personally don't like tucked in pants, so I'm leaving it on the outside. I think it looks better that way. So that's just me and my artistic license. He has no belt loops, so I just tighten the belt so it would stay in place. So I found a drop-down holster and gun that I could put on the side. And of course, we have these 2 shoulder rig holsters with guns in them. I thought that would look cool. The only thing I have left to do is I found some hands. I found hands that would match better with the skin tone. It's not perfect, but it matches better with the skin tone compared to some of the other hands I have. So now I just need to find some wrist pegs that will work. I've got 3 different types of wrist pegs in here. Come on. There we go. There's one. Oh, that's going to work, by golly. All right. That's going pretty good. So usually what I do with hands is I put them in hot water. I don't know what I did with my my spoon, but this will work just fine. That one on. There we go. Arms maybe more together. Yeah. Turn the hands a bit to the side. Maybe this one come out a little bit. This one a little bit too. I think he's looking pretty darn good. Let's get him where I like the pose, and we're good. We're off to the races. The only other thing I need to do is I've already typed out, or printed out, I should say, on black paper in white Punisher. It'll just go in here with a little Elmer glue. And use that. if you use God, what do you call it? You don't want to use hot glue. It's going to make it bumpy. And what's it called? Super glue. Yeah, super glue. If you ever want to change the name out, lots of luck on that one. But this will come off real easy if you want to have it come off. We are back, and I'll just remind you of our journey here. So I was going to get an unbranded head of the Punisher, and the pictures always look great, but when you get down to asking the eBay seller what the head really looks like, and they hold it in their hand and show you what they look like, 9 times out of 10 they look horrible. And so these did, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna get a Hot Toys head. So I got the Hot Toys head. This is not a Hot Toys body, but it was the closest in terms of complexion to this head that I had. It's still lighter than the head. It's not perfect, but it's workable. The hands are fairly close to the body, not perfect, but workable. Found some wrist pegs that fit into the body and the hands at the same time. The boots were a nice fit. I don't like tucking pants into the boots. I like the look better when they're outside the boots. So I know they technically should be in, but I like them out, so I'm going to leave them out. I really got that belt tight because there are no belt loops to hold the belt in place, but the tightness does. Found a drop-down holster and gun to put here, and of course had the shoulder rigs, the double holsters there with 2 guns. Was able to get a Punisher sleeveless shirt with that design on it, and I just put another shirt underneath it so I would have sleeves. I prefer that look. I don't like the short sleeve look. Plus he has joints. I'd rather cover them up. Even though they're not bad joints, he still has joints. Now, if I really wanted to cover up the wrists a bit better, I could put a watch on one hand and maybe a wristband on the other. It just depends on what you want to do. I think he looks great, though. So we'll go around and see him from different angles. And hopefully you agree. It looks pretty good. I didn't really put the head on tightly because it is a Hot Toys head. The body is not Hot Toys. If I did put that in very snugly, he probably would look like a munchkin. I don't want that to happen. So it's not going to go anywhere. It may be slightly loose, but it's better to have a neck than not to have one, is my 2 cents there. So this works for me. So we'll pause now and get some close-ups here. I think his head is a little lower than what I want it to be, so I'll raise it a bit, and then we'll get a close-up of his face. So here he is. I kind of put the head up a bit more, put something in there to kind of give it a little more lift. I think he looks better this way. It doesn't take much to make a big difference. Let's kind of go around and look at him from different angles. It is kind of jutting out there in the back, but I'm never going to pose a figure with his back to you, so it's the front look that's going to make the difference. And I have to say, with that Hot Toys head, he's looking pretty darn good. So we'll pause now and get a tighter close-up of his face. This is an awesome head sculpt. We'll just look here a little bit, and then over on the other side where you can see the cuts to his face a bit more. And we'll just come back to the center pose. He looks absolutely brilliant. Here's one last look at our figure. If you've liked what you've seen, please consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, have a great day.